The people who've been involved in the course is a number of therapists. We work at a small district hospital in a rural area, and so far we have met for 3 sessions, although we've only completed 2 weeks worth of the course. So the one thing that I have found is that each week there is too much for us to cover in just one session. So we haven't felt pressurized in terms of time and are just doing it in our own time. So we appreciate the fact that the material is actually left on the web even though the course is finished. The way we've done our sessions is that we've focused mainly on the videos, and that has generated quite a lot of discussion. So when we started, people's knowledge base was very different. There were some people who had no idea what inclusion was. They weren't aware of what it was about. And then we had some other people who knew quite a lot. But I think the content of the course is really excellent. And I think it really explains what inclusive education is all about. We found the videos really moving, I think particularly from week 2, where parents were expressing and just telling their own stories in a really heartful and meaningful way. The one podcast we listened to in week 2, it was quite a long podcast. We really were sorry that that wasn't actually videoed. I think that might have been a little bit more meaningful because it's quite hard to listen for such a long time. Although the speaker was so dynamic, I think she really engaged us. One of the things I was concerned about was the bandwidth. Because we're in a rural area, it's sometimes hard to download material. But I found that it was very easy to download the videos. The only challenge was sometimes when we had to go online. So when we couldn't save something, that was a little bit more challenging. But it's generated a lot of discussion, and it's actually resulted in some of our practice changing. Maybe to give an example, we run a clinic for children with cerebral palsy every Tuesday. And one of the things that we covered in week 2 was just the parents' needs. And I think we sometimes forget about the caregiver and are so focused on the child that we were not making enough effort to find out how the caregiver was doing, what support she had, what difficulty she was experiencing. So I think this course has now made us relook at that, and at the start of each of our sessions with a mother or a caregiver, we will first ask how she's managing before just automatically focusing on the child with a disability. So I think online, in terms of this course, I've already recommended it to a number of people. I recommended it to some teachers at a special school. I spoke to the head of the WITS OT department and said what a useful resource the videos could be for their students, say OT, physio, or even speech therapy. So I think it's a really wonderful way of learning, especially for us in rural areas where it's very costly for us. Joburg is a 5.5, if not 6 hour drive from where we live. So that's our nearest centre. And to drive up, a lot of the in-services or workshops are often a day workshop. So to drive all that way for one day is exceptionally far and costly. So I think that online learning is really a way in which we can learn a lot more and actually access outside skill. And I think that's an important part, because we do have in-services and continued education at the hospital, but we're depending on each other's knowledge, where this was an opportunity to hear from experts and to get their input. I've also been on the Future Line site, and I've actually registered and done some other courses, which I also found excellent. So I think it's a great way to go.